Now, let's talk decisions from the weekend. We're going to touch on this on the Outlaws, but we thought, we'll leave it and see what comes. Graham Annesley's come out, and I believe, correctly, for the first time in several weeks, backed his referees for penalising the blockers and for sending Phoenix Crossland to the sin bin for the most professional of fouls possible. Fans have blown up, saying, why? The referees have only themselves to blame, Terry, because they've let this go for so long, it's almost been forgotten about, that now they do make a right decision and everyone jumps down their throats. Phoenix Crossland, for me, laid on the Cronulla player to stop another play going, knowing, I'll give away 2 points, who cares? It's a hard kick, the wind's blowing a gale against you, you'll probably miss, it's out wide. That is the literal definition of a professional foul, and he had to be sat down. But the fact is, that hasn't been adjudicated like that all year. The referees only themselves to blame.
Yeah, look, that is the most blatant. Like, if you look up professional fouls, that is a textbook professional foul. 6 seconds left. Cronulla were ready to put up a bomb for Ronaldo Mulatalo across the other side of the field, who's incredible under the high ball, against a rookie. That was the plan. He was set. He was set for it. Atkinson was ready to put it up. Phoenix Crossland not only came over and jumped on the player late, he then laid on him. And he laid on him and he looked at the referee until the referee blew a penalty, and then he looked shocked when he was sin binned. It is the most obvious sin bin you have ever seen in your life. Now, I watched the discussion about the blockers, right? And there's a lot of hyperbole from people like Phil Gould, Paul Gallen, people on, that have a bigger platform than you and I will ever have and ever dream of, right? Which is why this comes out from them, and idiots start talking about it. And Phil Gould uttered these words that nearly made me fall off my chair. That the blockers weren't offside, and if they got the ball, they would be able to take a hit up. That's not the point. The point of the situation is they were in the way of somebody. It's a decoy. So it's not a decoy. It's an obstruction. Now, you see the Oregon Kaufusi one at the end when he realises, holy crap, I'm in the way, and he just runs through the line. Yep. That is what you need to do, right? So Royce Hunt and Blake Brayley were the ones that got done for Cronulla. And Brayley didn't pass the ball from dummy half. That was a bullet from Cam McInnes to Atkinson, and now the first field goal that was taken away. But all Brayley and Hunt had to do was run through the line. Right? That's all they had to do, or run at different angles. But the fact of the matter is they just stood still. And Matt Croker was in an onside position for Newcastle. He was behind the play the ball. But he knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. He was standing there. Yes, he could have taken a hit up. But yes, Will Kennedy had to run around him. It's a blocker. It's adjudicated correctly. And I believe there was another one called... Jermaine Azarko kicked a field goal against the Raiders in a Golden Point game, and the same thing was called. And I'm pretty sure it was Adam G who turned around the Dolphins. Jesse Bromwich-Camp said, "But I was onside," and Adam G said, "Doesn't matter if you're onside, you're in the way." Yeah. It's the same as any kind of obstruction that you see. If you run, if someone has to run around you, it's an obstruction. Yeah. So I'm glad Annesley backed those decisions, because 2 field goals, Ponga missed his, Atkinson nailed his, were both correctly ruled as a penalty. Now, I get why the Knights challenged it, because they challenged a penalty knowing that there was a gale force wind behind and Atkinson was going to be able to hoof the ball downfield, and hoof the ball downfield he did. Mm-hmm. From 13 metres out, we got the ball first tackle over the halfway line. But yeah, just a bizarre challenge in the end. I think he was trying to say it wasn't a blocker, but it doesn't matter, bro. You missed it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look, I get frustrated. There's so many things we can give referees grief about. We do it all the time. You shouldn't pick where they're right. Like, it doesn't matter if they get something wrong 10 times. If they get it right, they should be applauded. The other 10 should be lambasted, not this weekend. So I was really frustrated in that regard. They're blockers. During the season, during the preseason, they got told anyone who runs a decoy or an obstruction, as you correctly pointed out, is going to be penalised. Do not stand there. How hard is it? And I was more frustrated at Cronulla than anything, because we just got gifted a blocker penalty at the end.
40 seconds.
Same thing. Like a minute later. It's so frustrating. the referee's literally going, "Oi, don't do this, or I'm going to take a kick off you if it goes through." And Cronulla said, "Oh yeah, no worries," and then did the exact same thing. I don't blame the referee on all of those, and I want to double down on my congratulations. And I don't do this often about that Crossland thing. So I've been screaming for that to be penalised for years now, because we saw a couple of years ago, might have been last year in fact, where I think it was Canberra and St George, and there was not long to go, and there was 2 points or a point. And they laid all over him, gave a 6 again, and then by then it was just too late to do anything when it should have been a straight penalty and a sin bin for a professional foul. You take the 2 and you win a golden point. So good on the referees for finally getting it right. So
I want to also applaud one referee on the weekend who made the toughest of tough decisions.
A ballsy call.
That was literally a game-deciding call, and that is Belinda Sharp correctly ruling a forward pass. However, she was let down by her touch judges because it never should have got to that because Jack Whiten threw one 6 metres forward 3 tackles earlier.
Exactly right. And if we're sitting here with that, if Cam Murray got that pass right and they score, we're going back to that pass and it's a travesty. So lucky for them.